How does Aqib Talib to the New York Giants sound, folks? Because after what happened to DeAndre Baker over the last couple of days, it is only right that the New York Giants go after a veteran and experienced cornerback to fill the void of the second-year starter. Yes, what's good, everybody, and welcome back to the New York Giants Report here on Chat Sports. I am your lovely host, Nick Dais. At the Lamb Show is where you can find me. And I don't know, I've been with Chat Sports for about a year now, and this is the first time that I start off a video with a guy having to turn himself into authorities. But here we are. Hasn't 2020 been weird or not, folks? Because it's been very weird. And as of Saturday morning, DeAndre Baker's lawyer, Brad Cohen, announced on Instagram that his client has turned himself in. Baker was charged with 4 counts of armed robbery with a firearm and 4 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm. Florida state law is not kind when it comes to anything that has to do with gun charges. Could face anywhere from 10 to 20 to possibly life in prison with 4 counts of felony gun charges. Now, it's a very, very serious accusation that's been thrown at DeAndre Baker. We're going to have to wait and see how this all transpires. But let's talk a little bit about the second-year cornerback from Georgia. The New York Giants traded back into the first round in the 2019 class with Dexter Lawrence, as well as with Daniel Jones, to get DeAndre Baker. A position of need for the New York Giants has been cornerback for a long, long time now. They addressed it in free agency, bringing in James Bradberry, the most sought-out cornerback in free agency. You take him off his field was what a league source said last year about DeAndre Baker, but there were too many red flags. It felt like New York was a bad spot for him anyway. So now, hindsight is always 2020, and more reports are starting to surface about the off-the-field issues that DeAndre Baker had growing up and back at college with Georgia. Cutting Baker would be a $7.6 million cap hit for the New York Giants, and that's probably what I think the New York Giants will end up doing, especially if things get worse during these allegations. He had troubles with the New York Giants last year learning the playbook. He really didn't get going until about week 11 of last season, and that's really not saying much. If you watch DeAndre Baker last year play corner for the New York Giants, was going to be heavily relied on this year. This is why this is such a big blow for a team that has one of the lowest win totals according to many, many sports books to be successful this season in the NFL. And DeAndre Baker to come out and have these allegations put against him, it's a serious, serious thing that the New York Giants are going to have to consider moving forward with this player and moving forward with what they're going to do in the secondary. And for me, the biggest question is DeAndre Baker done with the New York Giants or with football? Because when you're looking at potentially 4 counts of felony gun charges from 10 to 20 to life in prison, I think the last thing on your mind is the National Football League. So weigh in below. Is this the end for DeAndre Baker? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Now let's get into 5 cornerbacks that I think the New York Giants are going to have to bring in order to fill that void of DeAndre Baker. I'm moving forward without DeAndre Baker in mind if I'm the New York Giants, and this is what I think they need to do. But before we do that, subscribe if you guys want more Giants coverage. The higher-ups over at Chat Sports, they want more Giants videos, but we want more subs also. So I need you guys to subscribe to the video below, give us a thumbs up, tell them I'm doing a fantastic job. Hell, even if you have to lie, it's all good. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It takes about 3 seconds. It's one click of the button. So here is a list of free agent cornerbacks that I think the New York Giants have to go after. And let's get started with Aqib Talib. Aqib Talib, the 34-year-old free agent cornerback. Last year we saw him traded from the Rams to the Miami Dolphins. He's an experienced cornerback for one of the youngest defensive back age groups in the entire NFL. They have one of the youngest group of players in the secondary to the New York Giants. Now you're going to be looking at Jabril Peppers. You're also going to be looking at Xavier McKinney that they bring in. James Bradberry is the old head, to say the least, of that position group, and he's about 26 years old. So you bring in a guy like Aqib Talib, who's been there, done that. Who knows what's going to happen with DeAndre Baker? He seemed to be a guy who's a very vocal leader in his past with the Denver Broncos and with the New England Patriots, and he's been very, very successful. So I think Aqib Talib is a guy that you could plug in right away. It could be a very, very productive cornerback for the New York Giants. Another guy who I really hope the Giants were going to bring in even prior to this. Now it's even more of a priority to bring this guy in, especially when you account for his versatility, both in the slot and on the outside, is Logan Ryan. And Logan Ryan, last seen with the Tennessee Titans, he's been linked to the Jets, the Raiders, and the New York Giants, especially when you get Joe Judge, who was formerly with the New England Patriots, now the head coach of the New York Giants. High praise from Logan Ryan talking about Joe Judge during his tenure with the New England Patriots. He's been connected with the team throughout. There's been so many reports and rumors around Logan Ryan when it comes to his ties with Joe Judge and the New York Giants. And I think he's the best cornerback available. And I also think he's the most versatile. And nowadays, if you're a nickel corner or a slot corner, you're a starter because of how many 3 wide receiver sets teams run in the NFL. So I think Logan Ryan is the preferred play for me if I'm the New York Giants. But let's continue on with some of the other names. And I did start this video off saying that 2020 was and still is a very weird year. And how much weirder would it be if the New York Giants were to bring in Eli Apple? Look, he was going to go to the Las Vegas Raiders. Shout out to my guy, Mitchell Renz. But that fell through. They went with another former New York Giant, Prince Amukamara. Now, Eli Apple, he's a free agent. And why not, right? You scratch our back, we scratch your back. You need us, we need you. You know the system. You know what it's like in New York. Sure, did things not work out the way they were supposed to as a first-round pick in New York? Of course, but that seems to be the trend with a lot of first-round picks for the New York Giants over the last couple of years. And he also played a lot better with the Saints than he did with the Giants, which is just another reason why the New York Giants are in the holes that they are in now, because they don't seem to be developing players the same way other organizations are developing players. So I think Eli Apple, why not? It'd be icing on the cake to how strange 2020 has been. Another corner that I'm looking at is Dre Kirkpatrick, the 30-year-old veteran cornerback formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals. In 2019, he missed 10 games due to a knee injury. Brings experience to a young unit, which has been the common theme of why I want them to go after an experienced cornerback. He had interest from the Raiders as well before they brought in Prince Amukamara, similar to what I said about Eli Apple. So I think Dre Kirkpatrick is another guy similar to Aqib Talib who could come in, be the voice of that locker room on a 1-year deal, prove-it deal. That's another common theme with all of these cornerbacks. A lot of 1-year prove-it deals because they have either had their career spiral out of control or they haven't hit on what they were projected to be. And I think it's very fitting that the last guy that we talk about is Trumaine Johnson. Not too long ago, he was the big free agent get for the New York Jets, the neighbors of MetLife Stadium with the New York Giants. On over $70 million contract he was given. And with the Rams, he was one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL. And he missed 15 games in 2 seasons. So your best ability to a franchise is availability. And I think that Trumaine Johnson couldn't bring that to the table with the New York Jets. But again, a 1-year cheap prove-it deal. Maybe you have a monster year with the New York Giants, and then you go on and you get yourself another contract with another team. So those are the players that I'm looking at, and I want you guys to tell us below, weigh in below, which of these cornerbacks should the Giants sign? A for Talib, B for Logan Ryan, C for Eli Apple, D for Dre Kirkpatrick, and E for Trumaine Johnson. Like I said before, my preferred choice is Logan Ryan. So, last but not least, I want to run through a couple of quick hitting rumors that have been surfacing as always. Markus Golden, the 29-year-old pass rusher, formerly of the New York Giants, to double-digit sack seasons in the last 4 seasons, won the locker room over last year with his performance and his leadership. Recently, as of this week, spoke to Joe Judge. Joe Judge said that if we could get the right number, we want to bring you back. We want to bring you back in. And this is a position of need for the New York Giants because they don't have a pass rush. And Markus Golden was a guy who proved that on a 1-year prove-it deal can be successful. And if you're the New York Giants, you need to bolster that pass rush. And why not bring in Markus Golden, a guy that you saw last year with double-digit sacks with the New York Giants. And last but not least, there's going to be some changes to the offense of the New York Giants. A lot of new things will be showcased with this offense, spearheaded by none other than former Dallas Cowboys head coach, Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett, now the offensive coordinator for the New York Giants, will make a lot of changes to the Giants offense from last season. Giants offense will not contain too many elements from what they ran last year and will instead look a lot like the system ran with Dallas, Ezekiel Elliott, and Dak Prescott, per Kimberly Jones of the NFL. And you might be saying, oh my God, how do the Giants go and get the Dallas Cowboys head coach? They go 8-8 every year, and you see all the memes about the Cowboys. But here's the thing. The Cowboys did finish first in yards per game and second in offensive DVOA in 2019. So we could poke fun at Jason Garrett all we want as Giants fans, which we've done over the last couple of years. But now we need to embrace him because he is our offensive coordinator, and he's proven that offense is not really the issue with him. It's a lot of other things. With that being said, it's at The Lamb Show is where you can find me. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will catch you guys next time.